Stagecraft is the technical aspect of theatrical, film, and video production. It includes constructing and rigging scenery, hanging and focusing of lighting, design and procurement of costumes, makeup, procurement of props, stage management, and recording and mixing of sound. Stagecraft is distinct from the wider umbrella term of scenography, considered a technical rather than an artistic field. It is primarily the practical implementation of a designer's artistic vision. In its most basic form, stagecraft may be executed by a single person who arranges all scenery, costumes, lighting and sound, and organizes the cast. Regional theaters and larger community theaters will generally have a technical director and a complement of designers, each of whom has a direct hand in the respective designs. Within significantly larger productions, for example a modern Broadway show, effectively bringing a show to opening night requires the work of skilled carpenters, painters, electricians, stagehands, stitchers, wig makers, and the like. Modern stagecraft is highly technical and specialized. It comprises many subdisciplines and a vast trove of history and tradition. History. Greeks were the earliest recorded practitioners of stagecraft. Scene is Greek, translating roughly into scene or scenery, and refers to a large scenic house about 1 story tall, with 3 doors. On the audience side of the scene, what are now known as flats could be hung. Flats developed are 2-sided painted flats which would be mounted, centered, on a rotating pin, with rope running around each consecutive pin, so the flats could be turned for a scene change. The double-sided flat eventually evolved into the periactis. As well as flats, the Greeks also used such machines as the ekiklima, essentially a platform on wheels, and a deus ex machina, a hand-cranked lift to be used to lift a character, scenery over the scene. Over 20 such scenic inventions can be traced back to the Greeks. No light but that of the sun was used. Plays started at sunrise and continued until sundown. Plays of medieval times were held in different places such as the streets of towns and cities, performed by traveling, secular troupes. Some were also held in monasteries, performed by church-controlled groups, often portraying religious scenes. The playing place could represent many different things such as indoors or outdoors. They were played in certain places so the props could be used for the play. Songs and spectacles were often used in plays to enhance participation. More modern stagecraft was developed in England between 1576 to 1642. There were 3 different types of theatres in London: public, private and court. The size and shape varied, but many were suggested to be round theatres. Public playhouses such as the Globe Theatre used rigging housed in a room on the roof to lower and raise in scenery or actors, and utilized the raised stage by developing the practice of using trapdoors in theatrical productions. Most of the theatres had circular design, with an open area above the pit to allow sunlight to enter and light the stage. It was a penny admission to stand in the pit. Prices increase for seating. Court plays were used for holidays and special occasions. Proscenium stages, or picture box stages, were constructed in France around the time of the English Restoration, and maintain the place of the most popular form of stage in use to date, and originally combined elements of the scene in design, essentially building a scene on stage. Lighting of the period would have consisted of candles, used as footlights, and hanging from chandeliers above the stage. Stagecraft during the Victorian era in England developed rapidly with the emergence of the West End, prompted by an influx of urbanites in the Greater London area. Parliament was forced to do away with previous licensing laws and allowed all theatres to perform straight plays in 1843. Electric lighting and hydraulics were introduced to draw large audiences to see on stage storms, explosions, and miraculous transformations. Technologies developed during the latter part of the 19th century paved the way for the development of special effects to be used in film. Lighting continued to develop. In England, a foam lamp using a blowpipe to heat lime to incandescence was developed. For navigation purposes, it was soon adapted to theatrical performances, and the limelight became a widespread form of artificial light for theaters. To control the focus of the light, a Fresnel lens was used. Originally intended to replace large convex lenses in lighthouses, dry Fresnel sectioned out the convex lens in a series of circles, like tree rings, and keeping the angle of the specific section, moved the section much closer to the flat side of the convex lens. After candles, came gas lighting, utilizing pipes with small openings which were lit before every performance, and could be dimmed by controlling the flow of gas, so long as the flame never went out. With the turn of the 20th century, many theater companies making the transition from gas to electricity would install a new system right next to the old one, resulting in many explosions and fires due to the electricity igniting the gas lines. Modern theatrical lighting is electrically based. Many lamps and lighting instruments are in use today, and the field is rapidly becoming one of the most diverse and complex in the industry. Robert Edmund Jones's book The Dramatic Imagination, Reflection and Speculations on the Art of the Theatre masterfully demonstrates some essential ideas of theatre designs. Subdisciplines. Stagecraft comprises many disciplines, typically divided into a number of main disciplines. Lighting design, which involves the process of determining the angle, size, intensity, shape, and color of light for a given scene. Hanging, focusing, procurement and maintenance of lighting and special effects equipment. Aspects of show control. Makeup. Wigs, the application of makeup and wigs to accentuate an actor's features. Mechanics, design, engineering and operation of flown scenery, a flying of performers and mechanized scenic elements and special effects. Production, comprising stage management, production management, show control, house management and company management. Scenery, which includes set construction, scenic painting, theater drapes and stage curtains, and special effects. Sound design, which can include musical underscoring, vocal and instrument mixing as well as theatrical sound effects. Theatrical property, or props, which includes furnishings, set dressings, and all items large and small which cannot be classified as scenery. Electrics. A wardrobe. Some crossover may apply. Props handled by actors are known as hand props, and props which are kept in an actor's costume are known as personal props. Wardrobe, costume design, construction, procurement and maintenance. Video is a relatively recent field of stagecraft which is gaining recognition. As well as being a discipline in itself, its role may also be taken on by the lighting or scenery disciplines.